Hello there everyone and welcome back. My last few matches were pretty straightforward, mostly since my opponents were a little less skilled, but they were still a good series of matches, especially with the tension that is the assassination and the convoy missions, where I am very likely to lose those battles if anything goes wrong when I'm the defender, mind you. So they were still tense and I still could have lost them, but straightforward matches otherwise. And it's exciting times now, for Tindalos have announced registration, I believe, for gaining access into the closed beta. I don't know if it's actually running just yet, it remains to be seen. But I do believe the NDA involves no content being displayed of Armada 2 just yet at least. So even if I were to get into the beta, unfortunately I would not be able to display what the status of the game is just yet. But that means we're getting ever so closer to its full release, so I am still excited nonetheless. And if any of you are interested in at least trying to get into the beta, mind you I think it's only a multiplayer beta, which probably means skirmish mode may not be available, it remains to be seen. Although technically, Armada 1 did have its skirmish for the early access beta when you pre-ordered at least. That's all I know for a fact. I just don't know if they're going to do that again for Armada 2, so keep that in mind if you do register. But with that said, there is no other tweaks I made to this fleet. I'm interested to continue to experiment with the micro warp jumps and if it's single-handedly going to deal with my stasis bomb problem or not. Alright, looks like we're facing off against Solare with his Tau fleet. I wonder if it's going to be Earth Cache or the Air Cache favor this time around. Either way, I'm going to need the Dictator without a doubt to kind of mitigate a lot of the Custodian potential. And if I can remember the nuances of an Imperial Navy fleet versus Tau, this would be very reminiscent of my Championship series, you would think. Although Solare has access to all the upgrades, although at the same time the Custodian was probably fitted up with everything. Oh, alright, he's got the excuses. Not that it matters so much, it's not like I'm playing Armada as much as I would like to be in top caliber position either. I gotta be mindful of the experimental railgun still. And I think I know how I could deal with that. Uh-oh. Well. Either way, let's try and make this entertaining. That's the one thing I want out of this. And although if Solari's going to commit to kiting me all day, if he's air cache, then that's probably not going to happen. If I'm willing to guess. I've been on the receiving end of Tau Custodians enough as is, especially air cache favor. I do have micro warp jumps. Sad thing is though, I only got a single auger disruptor to reliably jam. Maybe I should have gone with the Retribution, Tyrant, Dictator, and Dauntless with my Mechanicus favor. I'm going to be relying heavily on a single auger disruptor to at least allow me to get aggressive. That's the main reason I have the auger disruptor for the Dictator. It allows me to jam his first 3 Wardens as well as allows me to jam again when I get on top of the Custodian, so that way the Manta Bombers don't murder me horribly. I have access to Assault Run to easily negate that crap. Especially since my Dictator is relatively useless in point blank range because my fighters are going to get shot down immediately before any bombers come out. That's the catch. That's the problem with that. Now, how do I want to approach this with the Widowmaker? I'm thinking Assault Running in all honesty, as we get close enough. I just gotta remember the range is the problem there. Ready. And I gotta remember I also have decoys as an option. And how much do you want to bet the Demiurge are currently in that asteroid belt? Well, they technically could not be. That's a possibility. Assuming he has any Demiurge there, there's still 6 ships. This is consistent of maybe a Custodian and a Stronghold, but he doesn't have the... What is it? He doesn't have the stealth alloy, at least on those 2 ships, whatever they were. I'm just curious to watch, 4-point defense, and make sure my Widowmaker doesn't get sniped. I gotta be mindful of the experimental railgun stuff. So what I'm gonna do is Assault Run, high into the gas cloud just in case. Okay, he just did a hard turn there. Okay, there's a protector. That is all I know. And I'm gonna have this Widowmaker high in the gas cloud for now. Well, this is convenient. I think we just do wide torpedo arcs with that said. Try and get what damage we can to start softening us up. And be ready for any shenanigans. I only saw maybe there's only a single protector that I know of, which doesn't say a lot just yet, for the other one could very easily be a Sauce. Then there's a Custodian with 3 Wardens.
At your command.
Which is probably what this is. We'll see. And a Mission Dissipator, that's at least one upgrade that's not going to help him in his combat potential the best. So I have that going for me. And he did rotate, that's fine. Let's reveal the potential Custodian. That's my plan there. I want a decoy ready. Although decoy's not going to do much in all fairness if he doesn't have the fighters out yet. I have the Widowmaker able to spot. Let's just get ready for the Wardens. That's the main thing. Yep, that's the Custodian.
Cruising speed set.
And we have vision, so let's get this thing moving and not easily sniped.
At your command.
Since as soon as he sees it, he can shoot it. And I kind of want to just bomb this thing with that said.
Awaiting orders.
To an extent, I would have liked some replenishment fighters in case this thing refuses to die and my fighters are close enough to get shot down. Since this thing is surviving a while, let's not kid ourselves. This thing should not be surviving as long as it is. And it did spot my Widowmaker, so let's be ready for that.
Yes, Admiral.
Okay, I saw that coming, and thankfully, we're doing good. Now, this is a mistake, but that was too close for comfort, in all seriousness, with the experimental railgun. I just gotta be ready for the assault run and use this gas cloud to full effect this time. And the Dictator is shooting down the secret missiles, it's just that the odd arc is not the most convenient. Can we kill this thing quickly? I do have assault run, I just gotta kill this thing quickly.
Your orders?
Okay, 2 failed attacks there. I don't know, again, he's already said that he's like messed up with his hotkey, so it remains to be seen if that was good for me or not. We'll see. Let's just get in the gas cloud, conceal ourselves, and then work from there. And I gotta keep in mind, my fighters need to support the hell out of this ship. And there's still a third experimental railgun, keep that in mind.
Ship ready. Burn retros.
Now, this is a bit of a clump mess, and apparently I've been revealed. My Dictator's seen, which feels really weird. Oh no, maybe it's no longer seen. I just heard secret missiles suddenly go off, that's all.
Enemy ship
It's a bit of a mess right now.
Your orders.
And as soon as I try and jump him, you know he's gonna just micro warp jump himself. So we gotta keep that in mind. So keep the fighters going. Cripple the engines if at all possible. And don't make this thing an easy target. And hopefully my Dictator's doing the job it needs to. Since we're gonna be getting constantly peppered. Also, need to be mindful. Where's my Dictator? I need my fighters. They're AWOL at the moment. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Same old, and I didn't quite get the shield damage I needed too, which is a bit unfortunate. Because as soon as I micro warp jump, does he have micro warp jump? Yes, he does. As soon as I micro warp jump, he does the same thing, and it does me no favors at all. With that said, although I do have decoys still, and I also have my own Cobras to help complicate this some. Although deploying the Cobra probably was a bit of a mistake because of how easy it's kind of getting in my way. Okay, he missed again there. I am thankful, but that's his railgun's coming back up. Let's keep that in mind. It is useful, but only for a limited time offer, as far as how much I'm getting away with here.
Yes, Admiral.
And his Manta bombers. Let's see, can we actually get out?
Cruising speed set.
Well, that is underwhelming. Now it just begs the question, do I even bother putting this on YouTube? I think it's worth it just to show the initial strategy there, although you can see the complications. Torpedoes are great for chasing, but when you have 6 fighter squadrons, then it's a little tricky to hit with torpedoes. And again, we're dealing with, well, I've seen only 2 experimental railguns. Mind you, I never did pay attention to our Custodian, what kind of favor it had. But the initial opening was still strong. The maneuver to protect the Widowmaker was good too. It's only a single Widowmaker. Again, how much was Solid running and making that difficult more spur of the moment for Solari to hit it affect its survival? Since he was also stating how his keyboard was all messed up, so it remains to be seen. It's left to be decided if that actually helped me in any regard or not. Okay, so apparently my last match was Solari the game crashed on him there, from what I could tell, huh? Maybe. How aggressive do I get in all honesty? That Custodian's a big issue if I let it drag out, so I may want to do what he's suggesting. Just try and win through brute force, arguably. Since I had a lot of problems with the Custodian, especially with Solari just kiting me all day. That is a bit of the problem there, a little. The Dictators do good at stopping the waves, I just gotta be on top of it. Basically, well, I just need to be on top of it, constantly replenishing its fighters as often as possible. And secret missile spam can be an issue. I do wonder if it was a mistake not to go with the Retribution here or not. Well, it's only 3 extra point defense, which doesn't matter if I'm going to be fielding the Dauntless as well as my 2 Tyrants. Hard to say, hard to say. I am just not going to enjoy this prospect, is all I'm going to say. Since I don't know if the last video made it on YouTube or not, but Solari did his old shenanigans again. He also said his keyboard was messing up, so there's always that. Maybe working to my advantage, but it's the same shenanigans. There's not much else to really say. Now the question is, do I really get aggressive? I can at least break through those Custodian bombers really well, but there's going to be other ships in my way. That's the only thing I don't like. If I mess up even once on trying to deter those Manta bombers, I'm just going to lose a cruiser instantly. Since after all, that space station has 4. Mind you, they don't have energy shields, never mind the crew upgrades, so there's always that going in my favor. And there's going to be a protector, potentially a protector. There could be even more if he decides to go with a stronghold instead. It's a question, do I go... The idea may be to get super aggressive on the station in all seriousness, kind of like he suggested, because I'm not liking a long-term type of fight anyway. It just means I need to be on top of watching those bombers, especially Custodian's bombers.
Your orders?
And we're just going to assault run with this thing to at least give ourselves some vision. And maybe if possible, just torpedo this thing out of the way.
Setting course.
That's the hope anyway.
Awaiting orders.
Well, at least the experimental railguns are currently being spent right now. We'll see how this affects it. I just want those Custodian bombers fighters away, so that way maybe I have a chance of doing some damage.
Yes, Admiral.
That's the idea anyway, because, yeah, he feels the pressure. He's running the hell away.
Ship
Sadly,
ready.
it's not quite enough just yet.
Activating tactical cogitators.
I'm waiting for the Manta bombers.
Orders received.
And I gotta remember I have 75 armor on the prow. I just don't want to brace for impact just yet, since that assault run is going to be
Your
important.
orders?
That is the main strength to keep in mind. Tau have really bad armor-piercing weaponry outside the Manta bombers, which, again, the Custodian Manta bombers are going to be a pain in the goddamn ass to deal with. So I don't know how I feel about this prospect.
Yes, Admiral.
I do need to brace for impact now. With that said, I don't think I have much of a choice.
Ship ready.
Now let's try and get aggressive there. Keep hitting the Custodian and at least force an engagement out of
Your
him.
orders?
And also be mindful my Dictators are getting...
Awaiting orders.
Let's see, my Dictator's fighters are kind of gone right now, which is a bit of a problem. Maximize point defense.
Yes, Admiral.
Since as you can see, well, the Protector still did damage. It did notable damage, which really stinks.
Ready.
Oh, and I did lose my deck as a result of that earlier Custodian attack too. So this is not going to go well. I do have shield transfers, I just don't have a supercharged void shield to help in this regard just yet.
Activating tactical cogitators.
And I thought I was sending you to focus on that.
Yes.
I guess not.
Acquiring new vector. At your command.
Oh, I did a brace for impact. I want that to be assault run. That did not pay off to my liking, alas.
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
And my can we hit this thing? I don't think it's gonna happen because we're about to lose this cruiser.
Taking heavy damage.
And we are getting hits on the custodian. It's just not gonna be enough.
Destroyed.
Not in the slightest.
Course plotted.
Trying to be aggressive is a bad idea.
Cruising speed set.
I could play a slower game, but I think I'm going to be at a huge disadvantage with the Custodian. It's just the Custodian alone, really. Since with the Protectors, it's only 2 squadrons the point defense actually have to deal with. And let's see, they are Earth Cache. I want to make sure my fighters get replenished at convenient times. Brace for impact is not all that helpful here, since I could do a lot of damage. Actually, I think I might as well brace for impact. Because I'm about to ram and hit this thing. At least that's the idea. I don't have the convenience of a micro warp jump to escape, sadly. That was too slow. I did not pay attention to the Custodian time.
Yes, Admiral.
This may not be over yet. It may. I don't have the firepower anymore to kill this thing. It's the problem. Especially with my torpedoes gone. So yeah. I can do damage to it still. I could have got them maybe more aggressive. There is a void explosion which helps me in this regard. Oh, I didn't want a micro warp jump. I wanted to wait till I rammed it, then micro warp jumped it. Yeah, this is not going to go well, but I do have energy rams, so that always has a possibility of it working, though. And actually, if I can ram this Custodian into it, that helps too. Nah, not quite. Oh well. Not what I'm really excited about as far as a match. It probably would have been better to play slower. It probably would have. I just need to be mindful of the experimental railguns that are eventually going to kill my Widowmakers. So it makes it tricky. I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I should have boosted in there relentlessly. I could have done that. Oh well. I'm just not excited for this prospect. Again, a lot of the reason why this is an issue is because there's so many fighters on the Custodian. There's always a chance that since it randomizes what fighters are hit, you need to get... There is a potential situation where you can hit... What is it? I'm trying to do the math there. So, yeah, it's 18 fighters when he does like a bomber assault. So there's always a chance I could do 18 points of damage to his fighters, and not a single one of them die. Whereas it's only 6 I need to do for the Protectors, since even if they have like 2 or 3 different Protectors all launching their bombers at once to be comparable to a Custodian, there's still only 2 squadrons that it randomizes the point defense's damage, mind you. Sure, separate cruisers might shoot at separate bomber squadrons, which would balance that out some, but it makes it a lot more easier to actually kill said bombers, if you see my point. So we're going to get a cruiser clash this time around, and feel like maybe, let's see, I do have Adeptus Mechanicus with, what is it, Augur Disruptors, right? Yep, I have an Augur Disruptor and a Beacon, although sadly, that may not be what I want. We'll see. We will see there. The Dictator's still going to be pretty important. I'm going to miss out heavily. I wonder if I should do a bit of a gambit here. If I do it this way, I get more lances, more long-range firepower, but I miss out on my Widowmaker. Which, I do have extended sensors on here, but that doesn't honestly help me a whole lot. You would think, anyway. Since a micro warp jump and then silent runs Let's try this. At least it protects me from dang sniping Widowmakers, potentially being a liability. I'm not really fond of it, but at the same time I guess I'm relying too much on the Widowmakers. And what happens when they're easily sniped? Hell, you would think Chaos would be the best ones to snipe frigates because of all the lances they have access to. No, there's real potential in the Widowmaker getting sniped by the experimental railguns. We will see. This may be foolish because, again, I don't know again if I put that first match in, but I was silent running my Widowmaker and then putting it into gas clouds just before getting to experimental railgun range, and it's worked out really damn well in the first match. I could probably get away with it some more here, and I think I want my Dictator in front as much as possible. There is less torpedoes for me. This kind of gives away this is a Dauntless, mind you, since of the sheer number of ships I have. It would be 5 if I decide to go for Widowmaker. At the very least, I'm not gonna lose my vision just because of the railguns. I at least have that going for me. Hell, I should try for the gas clouds. I have amazing bully potential. And Solari can't really do a whole lot unless he wants to completely commit to this fight. And I gotta remember, I have 2 Auger Disruptors, right? I may have messed up in that space station assault utilizing it fully, but that's like an easy way to deal with our dang bombers, at least temporarily.
Course plotted.
Now, I'm just going to try and engage these things. I don't think this really matters so much. The fighters aren't even launched yet, so Solari may just wait till the last moment. And that's the Custodian right there. I'm fine with that. It's really difficult. I should try decoys at shooting at that in all seriousness. Since that's the one that does... The one weakness of the Custodian is it does not have high energy turns. It still has the same turning speed as everything else, mind you. But it can't just radically turn quickly. And I should really reload. The fact that I'm so slow on reload is a bit of a crutch that's going to cost me really heavily if I'm not careful.
Changing course.
We'll see. If I can get some damage on this Custodian, that would be great.
Orders received.
And I want to stay in this gas cloud as much as possible, as well as have my Dauntless try and spot for me. Maximize my chances a little bit. Yeah, he's just boosting forward. Gotta keep that in mind. Remember, the gas cloud's my friend. Unless Solari wants to bull rush into it, that's an idea. And I heard a repair, that's all I know, which doesn't really say a whole lot in all seriousness. And I don't have emission dissipators on this thing, so let's keep that in mind.
Your orders?
Oh, thankfully that missed.
Course plotted.
I am just trying to focus here. I don't think I'm going to get the damage I want, but I'm going to try anyway to give it the best attempt. And my silent run is going to be back up in a moment or two. Okay, that one actually hit, but I can at least repair it. I might as well repair it now. Unless I'm... Oh, I'm hitting the Warrens, that's what it is. So at least I know where Solari's Warrens are now. So that's a plus.
Burn retros.
So keep the pressure on Solari then. Try to. And don't make this easy. I do have a beacon, but again, I need to kill the shields for that to really matter.
At your command.
And he does have his own beacons, he's already boosting.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, sadly my 4 torpedoes are going to get denied there.
Engines hot.
So not a lot I could do in this regard, but I am out of vision, just barely. Let's get these turned around. Dictator's still in a good position to help deal with the Custodian some.
Changing course.
Alright.
Your orders?
So there goes the Auger Disruptor, that's fine. I'm still waiting for the bombers. I have my own fighters heading on out, that's fine. Now, let's try and protect this as much as possible. I have my own fighters.
At your command.
I do still have Salt Run, keep in mind. So now we bully our way over. I need to get my position all fixed up now, because this is not working very well. I'm too cramped.
Course plotted.
But now we make our way to the protectors
Your orders?
and see how well that goes.
Yes, Admiral.
I do I brace for impact is the big question.
Underway.
Since I do have a beacon, I also have this thing. Time to bully and burn out this area, and I don't have
Ready.
supercharged void shield, so this may be annoying.
Normal functions.
And I gotta keep in mind I don't have vision. That's gonna be a bit of a liability, but we can force him back.
Resuming normal functions.
Well, I would if my beacon would deploy.
Awaiting orders.
Well, that is unfortunate,
Brace for impact.
but that did not work as I would like.
Your orders?
I don't know what happened there all of a sudden with my ability to kind of like commit. But I do have fighters, right? I did just friggin' launch them, so they should damn well do their job.
Awaiting orders.
And I still have Salt Run.
Ship ready.
There.
Orders received.
So now let's get in the gas cloud, take
Yes,
advantage of
Admiral.
that. Because these don't have beacons, do they? Nope, just repulsors.
Setting course.
Go in the gas cloud and do what we need to.
Awaiting
This is not very
orders.
exciting, mind you, but as we see, in air cache favor, I can't quite get aggressive, no matter how much I want to. I have to kind of bait out his mistakes, and bait out these wardens as well, since we already destroyed one, so that's fine.
Engines hot.
And try to avoid damage. My dictator has repairs available though.
Now. Course
Now
plotted.
kill this thing, stay hidden, maybe do a little bit of damage on.
Cruising speed set.
Did I repair? Oh yeah, I already repaired with the tank thing. And I should be hitting on this thing, right? It was in a goddamn gas cloud. You would think it'd be hitting right now.
Awaiting orders.
But apparently not. We got bombers coming. So apparently that's not true.
Orders received.
There, that's what I want to see.
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
Now, Dictator's gonna stay hidden, replenish the fighters since the bombers did kind of like deter that for now.
Cogitators.
Enemy ship sighted.
And we jammed one ship, so let's punish
Targeting
this.
Enemy vessel. At your command.
And remember, we have torpedoes for this. And also destroying engines is really important too.
Yes, Admiral.
I have no beacons available. That can be a bit of a problem trying to engage this.
Your orders?
Enemy ship sighted.
Let's see, I do have shield
Awaiting
transfer still,
orders. Going silent.
as well as Auger Disruptor, which apparently isn't doing anything right now.
Resuming normal function.
I did Auger Disruptor, right? You're supposed to be hitting, I'm really hoping right now.
Ship
Why aren't you
ready.
hitting? I'm hoping I jammed the dang custodian.
To maximum.
Because right now it's looking like it's not working as advertised, if I'm going to be honest. So I think the game's bugging on me even more right now.
Taking
Yeah, this thing is dead. I'm going to have to double check that, because I have no idea if my Auger Disruptor failed me or not.
engines
Which is a
hot.
bit of a problem. I could have launched Cobras, mind you. Which always is an option there, but
Resuming normal function.
I'm a little bit baffled right now, because I'm uncertain what just partake there.
Activating tactical cogitators.
Can we at least make progress? I do have a brace for impact. I can block these torpedoes really damn well. And we still have our weaponry to fire on you.
Resuming normal functions.
I just don't have a dictator anymore to do the damage necessary.
Course plotted.
How about
Activating
torpedoes?
tactical cogitators.
Because I still got Cobras for
Awaiting orders.
when the bombers come out, like right now.
Activating tactical cogitators.
It's not much, but it's going to be as good as it could be.
Underway. Yes, Admiral.
Now, can we do the work that's needed?
Execute high energy turn.
It remains to be seen.
All ahead full. Burn retro.
And I guess the Manta Bombers still were able to hit my dang Retribution, which really stinks in this regard. That is not what I want in the slightest.
Command. The flagship has been
That's a
destroyed.
shame. I have to check that again. I really am curious. Did my Dictator not do anything or not? Did the Auger Disruptor fail me? That is a genuine question I'm just curious about, because I saw it on the edge of the border, or of the range, after all.
Yes, Admiral.
So I'm not really sure. That, if nothing else, was better. It seemed better. I still would like the constant vision to actually be able to chip him down when he does his shenanigans for running away. Well. Not really a whole lot I can say otherwise. Because that's what it really comes down to. The Dictator is integral to what I'm trying to do, and I did manage to eventually get to the second gas cloud to kind of like conceal myself without using his solid running. And I'm pretty certain my Dictator also had extended sensors. I'm gonna have to double check if that's true or not. Did I give the Dictator extended sensors? And why does that even matter? It doesn't really matter a whole lot, to be fair. It probably would have been important for that battle if it didn't, since it was my point ship after all. So maybe it actually didn't, considering the difficulty it had spotting his ships. I'm gonna check that again, and maybe I'll make that tweak. Just gotta keep in mind, what exactly would I replace? Well, what did I even put for Mechanicus favor? Oh, just the belt armor extended range. Maybe the extended range isn't worth it. As silly as it may sound, because I don't have extended sensors, I mistaken it for the Auger Disruptors. That will help a little bit. Let me actually repair the ship, I guess, too. Repair them all. I'll give this one more try. I still don't enjoy the prospect, but if I can at least give him a run for his money, then this will make it all worth it still. Well, I guess Solari decided to mix up a little bit there. Which sort of is a good thing, sort of a bad thing. I want to experiment more and try and figure out. As much as I may sound like I hated that matchup, can you honestly blame me when the strategy involves just kiting and outrunning me all day? I felt like I was starting to figure it out again, especially with the Dictator. Again, I never got a chance to see what happened with that Auger Disruptor with the Dictator though. And this is going to be a little bit of an issue because I'm assuming Solari is going double battle barge. He likes to talk about memes, although I would argue double battle barge isn't really a memey fleet, if that's true. We will see. How do I want to do this? Lances are pretty important. Armor-piercing rounds are probably not going to be... Oh. He's going to test up, and I'll be a little more generous, I suppose. I was thinking maybe double Overlords and the Retribution for maximized lance and fire. We'll see. We'll see if I regret this choice or not. We'll just go with something standard that's at least balanced. Yeah. I feel bad about being so negative about that matchup, but again, I truly believe it is just the number of bombers on the Custodian that's causing so much issue there, because that's single-handedly what's killing me. A lot of it is because of how the randomization works with shooting down said bombers. Because the Custodian has so many different fighters, as well as each of them having 2 hit points, the randomization very likely makes it that so many of those ships can take damage before actually one starts dying. That wouldn't be an issue if I commit heavily on like nothing but like maybe 2 carrier ships, then maybe I might not have an issue. I feel that may be a bit extreme, since the Protectors, I would argue, would not be nowhere near as much of an issue as I'm having with the Custodian. Nonetheless, it's something different, and yeah, this is looking like double battle barge without a doubt. I don't think anyone is surprised. I'm certainly not. And I don't know why I'm firing decoys. It's kind of pointless, since these are only 2 squadrons of fighters after all. So maybe that was a bit of a mistake. I do still have a single Auger Disruptor for at least when I'm on top of one of the battle barges and it might warp out. The trick is knowing when he may consider warping out though. Since I do have shield transfers, I have supercharged void shields to help alleviate a lot of the lock-on potential if he has a Chapter Master or even decides to go with the lock-on based strategy. And I have a mission dissipator, so I'm going to detect them early. Not that there's much benefit,
Awaiting orders.
but I might as well do what damage I can.
Changing course.
And I don't think there's much point in crisscrossing the torpedoes, just fire straight at the battle barges.
Your orders.
And he's already turning sideways, so that's not... These are probably not going to hit as much as I like. At least not on the first one. Oh, never mind, he's turning towards me.
Yes, Admiral.
If I got the side, that would be the best way to do damage. Since I'm not... it's really hard to tell what the turning speed on this is, but I think he still has a 5-degree turning ratio on those ships.
Changing course.
So there's a Nova. There's a Salt Run, that's kind of
Resuming
pointless.
normal functions.
And we'll Salt Run and hide this thing,
Awaiting orders.
and see it vanish for good
Burn
measure.
retros.
That thing should die quickly. That's really not going to be much of an issue. Since he did Salt Run after all. Come on, one more Lance is all I need. Oh, he's going Lance Fear. This, I would agree, is definitely different. He has no bombardment cannons, is what that tells me. So what's the key thing to go for? Micro Warp Jump. Deny the Micro Warp Jump is, I think, the strategy here.
Yes, Admiral.
And I told you to burn retros, so...
Orders received.
Alright, let's play ball.
Tactical cogitators.
At your command.
I refreshed the fighters when I didn't mean to,
Setting course.
and this is annoying.
All ahead full.
Because my Micro Warp Jump's not going to be available. Not yet, but it'll be close.
Burn retros. Helm
I gotta hold my
command.
fire until the Micro Warp Jump becomes available.
Burn retros.
2 seconds on them.
Yes, Admiral. Acknowledged.
Although I don't have Micro Warp Jump on you, so that may be a bit of a problem.
Ship ready. Resuming normal functions.
Activating tactical cogitators.
Now,
Understood.
fire torpedoes and kill this thing quickly.
Awaiting
And ideally,
orders.
Auger Disruptor.
Engines to
I hope
maximum.
did I jam both of them? No, I didn't. One was just out of reach, so that's a shame.
Acquiring new vector.
Alright. Let's get in. Let's get more torpedo shots in, even if he's got an engine critical hit.
Engines hot. Yes.
And shield to recharge and go ham.
Resuming normal functions.
A lot of damage on this battle barge. It may die right here, in fact. Almost.
Understood.
Kill it. Kill it. Put it out of my misery. I will trade.
All ahead full.
There. That is dead.
Your orders.
He locked on. The critical hit didn't matter too much just yet.
Turn.
And my engines are crippled, so let's get ready for the ram.
At your command.
Alright, can I turn and adjust?
Resuming
Oh, your generator's gone, so that doesn't really matter.
Yes, Admiral.
So, I agree, it's a bit more of a different fleet. It was Devil Battle Barge, so there's no one surprised by that. At least I sure as hell wasn't. And that's a Chapter Master, and that thing's getting massacred right now.
Ready.
Now just keep hitting it, and keep ramming it, and I really should be using my Dictator for maybe denying the Thunderhawks, because those could still be an issue.
Changing course.
And I guess even with a Chapter Master, he doesn't have a pure 100% resistance, because my rams just did damage, I think, there.
Awaiting orders.
That's kind of what it looks like there.
Yes, Admiral.
Yeah, bombardment cannons would be a little bit better, but at least I can deal with that, only if I'm aware enough for the shield transfers and supercharged void shields. That's the caveat there.
Your orders.
Since those, again, I can ignore the critical hit chance
Retros.
on the bombardment cannons, so long as my shields are what is it I'm trying to say? So long as my shields are up, I can't take critical hits from his macro cannons. Lances are a lot more manageable, but they are basically guaranteed damage, huh? Aw, I secretly have a real intrigue to the Lance battle barges. I would argue having 2 of them is what's a terrible idea, if I were to be honest. For one of my battle barges is actually a Lance variant, and I want to argue there is some merit to it. It may not be better than the Mark I or the bombardment cannons, I'll be perfectly honest, but it felt like I had some good matches when I compare it with the Vanguards, that there could be some potential to them. It remains to be seen because it's not quite max level just yet with those battle barges, let alone my Space Marine fleet. So maybe it's a mistake, but I still had fun with at least a Lance battle barge and 3 Vanguards. They're somewhere in my plethora of videos when I did Space Marines, especially the last time I did Space Marines, or played as Space Marines anyway. So, if you're interested in those matches, they're there somewhere. I just, for the life of me, couldn't tell you where they are.